University in Hempstead, New York, Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network presents the Long Island Catholic High School Boys Basketball Championship. This afternoon, the upset-minded St. Anthony's Friars take on the St. Mary's Gales. Well, hi again, everybody. I'm Barry Landers, along with former St. Agnes star, former Manhattan star, and former St. John's University basketball coach Brian Mahoney. Sort of coming back to your old roots, Brian.
Really not too far, and of course I remember the days like it was yesterday, even though it was some 30 years ago.
Well, Brian played in a lot of these championship games for Frank Morris and St. Agnes. This should be an interesting game. The two teams have played each other twice this year, and of course St. Mary's has come out on both ends. What can we expect today? Well,
you have two different plays. St. Mary's is big and strong inside. They're going to try to pound it inside. St. Anthony's, on the other hand, wants to get out and run the ball and shoot the threes.
Well, if they're going to win this game, St. Anthony's, they're going to have to bury the threes. They have a decided height disadvantage, but they've got a great point guard by the name of Jared Grasso.
Averaging 20 points, going next year to Quinnipiac, playing for Joe DeSantis, my former assistant coach. Outstanding player.
Well, he can light it up from outside. He can dish. He can penetrate. He had a terrific game for St. Anthony's the other day. And as far as St. Mary's is concerned, well, they were the favorite to win. They had a big win the other day over Kellenberg. They're a club that has just about everything.
Well, they really do, and they have an outstanding young point guard in Joel Suarez. Very quick penetrator, can shoot it, can take it strong to the basket.
Well, Suarez, a guy who can light it up from outside. He's being highly recruited. He's an underclassman, and a lot of the Division I schools very interested in him. The big question, Brian Mahoney, can the Friars pull off another huge upset? They shocked St. Dominic's the other day.
Well, Barry, I think the biggest thing, if they can make their three-point shots, they have a chance.
Should be interesting, and Jimmy Cavallo returns with the coaches. Get set for championship high school basketball coming up next on Cablevision's LISA.
Hey, Coach, what a first year. You come in, you guys had a little bit of a rough start, but here you are. You won 9 of 11 games. You come off a huge emotional victory over the three-time champs, and here you are in the final.
Definitely. That win against Doms on Friday night was a tremendous win for us. All 3 games have been like that, and, we're very excited to be here today, and, we'll hope for the best today.
Playing well at the right time. I mentioned 9 of 11.
Yes, we are. We had a very tough schedule at the start of the year, but it's helped us coming down towards the stretch. We peaked at the right time.
You've lost to these guys twice during the year, and let's face it, they present big-time matchup problems for you. Your biggest player, Farrell, is out for this game. They got a big guy. The big guys up front, 6'8", 6'4". How do you defend the post?
Well, we're going to have to just work really hard today. Both games we've been hurt on the offensive boards, and we're just going to have to figure out a way to keep them off the boards today as best as possible.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, we turn it over to St. Mary's head coach Tim Kluse, and an emotional weekend to say the least. We'll start off by saying your wife's pregnancy is due tomorrow, your birthday is tomorrow, and here you are in the championship game. Things are pretty crazy right now.
So far they're crazy, but they're great. It's a great ride.
Do you look at yourself as the heavy favorite? You've beaten them twice this year. You know what St. Anthony's can do. You know how hot they are. Are they a Cinderella team?
I don't think they're a Cinderella team because they've been there to the finals last year and they have a lot of talent. It just took them a while to get going this year.
Talk about your team. I mean, you mentioned a team, I believe 10 and 11 last year, and you guys have really turned things around this year, back in this final and playing real well.
Our defense has really improved this year. I think we went from about 65 points a game last year to down to 55, and that's really sparked our offense, and we're just believing in ourselves a lot more.
That's the 7th-year head coach, Tim Kluse. He's hoping for the trifecta this week. The birthday is tomorrow. The wife pregnancy is due tomorrow. Maybe even a Catholic League championship. We are just moments away from the start of this game. Stick around. Cablevision's coverage of LISN returns with Barry Landers and the coach, Brian Mahoney, right after this.
Barry Landers along with Brian Mahoney back here at a jammed Tufts University. Today's championship boys basketball game brought to you by Genovese. We'll take good care of you. By Chase Manhattan Bank. The right decision is everything. By Canon USA. By Bob Stores. And by Elite Sports Medicine and Rehab in Ronkonkoma. As the starting lineup's being introduced for the St. Mary's Gales, first regular season championship they've ever won, coming in with a record of 19-4, 11-1 in league play. And we'll take a look at the starting lineup in this showdown between these powers. For St. Anthony's, Brian Sheely, Jared Grasso. Of course, we mentioned Grasso. Callahan, John Bucaro's a guy coming on, and Pete Zito filling in for the suspended young man, Chris Farrell, who's out because he got involved in a deliberate foul the other day. And for St. Mary's, Frauenberg and Suarez play in the backcourt. Pettit, very strong kid from France, and Joachim Eriksson from Sweden give him a big front court.
Well, they have great size. Tim Klus is a big man himself back in his playing days, so he knows how to work those big fellas.
Of course, you know the Klus family very well.
Very well. Of course, Hank, the oldest brother, played at St. John's. Greg was my high school teammate. Kevin, I coached at St. John's. I wasn't there when Tim spent a year or two at St. John's, but it was a great family, a great basketball family. It's so nice to see Timmy doing such a good job over there at St. Mary's.
7th year, 90 and 62. First year for Chris Pursue, and you also have a tie with Chris Pursue.
Yeah, Chris was a walk-on at St. John's when I was coaching there. At a Lutheran high school, played for a good friend of ours, Bobby McKillop. Chris was always a hard worker, lefty, good shooter, and what a terrific job he's done in his first year at St. Anthony's.
Hey, they say they're playing with borrowed money here. Whatever happens here, they knocked off the giant killer St. Dom's. They're going after St. Mary's today.
Well, and also what experience his club is getting. So this should be I'm looking forward to this game. St. Mary's big and strong. St. Anthony's got to make those threes.
Joel Suarez, number 3 with the basketball, guarded by Grasso. That'll be a great matchup between two outstanding point guards. This is Suarez, averaging almost 19 points a game. St. Mary's will shoot a lot of threes, and Bryce Pettit, young man from France, averaging 12 points with the miss. Quickly up court. Brian Schlee had it knocked away.
Pettit did a good job getting back in transition with that block shot, but you can see St. Anthony's really wants to get down the floor quickly.
And St. Anthony's want to create a little havoc defensively, force some turnovers. St. Mary's a good ball handling club. Suarez missing, and they use that height advantage to work it inside to Jimmy Frauenberg, and Frauenberg with a layup. And that was one thing that was critical. They got out-rebounded badly the last time they played. They got 27 offensive rebounds, St. Mary's, in the last game when they beat St. Anthony.
Yeah, Chris Pursue said that's the thing. We have to limit them to one shot. We got to put bodies on people and block out.
And if they can hit jump shots like that, they'll be in good shape, as John Bucaro, who had the hot hand the other day, comes up with the bucket. And right back answering is Jimmy Frauenberg, averaging 11 points out of Hewlett.
St. Mary's comes right down, no hesitation. Frauenberg, nice shot off the glass.
Frauenberg at a high of 26 against Cathedral Prep earlier this year. Working it inside, and they lose the ball, as that time it was Terrence Callahan who lost it. Suarez pushing it up court. And count the basket. And Frauenberg off to a hot start, the 2-year starter. A hard-nosed kid, one of those old-time players who knows the game. You love to coach a kid like this.
Well, you do. In that time, St. Anthony's, a little confusion in their defense. Nobody picked them up, and he did the smart thing, Barry, taking it to the basket for that pull-up shot.
Frauenberg so far with 6 points. All the points so far, looking for point number 7. Had 16 points in the St. Anthony's first game that they won rather decisively, 87-67, and at 8 points the last time these clubs played.
St. Mary's off to a very quick start. Chris Pursue, I'm sure, wasn't looking for this.
And they got to get those shots to drop. Zito on the rebound, couldn't get the rebound put back in off the miss. And quickly they work it inside using that height advantage once again. And this time it's Bryce Pettit, and they're off to an early 9-2 lead. So if we were talking about the Gales being concerned about a letdown, looking ahead, maybe not respecting the St. Anthony's club, at least in the outset, Timmy Klus has got him out there going.
Well, they're getting the ball down the floor this time to Pettit, going in strong. What I've noticed right away is St. Mary's, even though they're dominating the boards, they're doing a good job of running the floor, getting it out quickly.
Well, they are one of the best clubs on Long Island, 19-4. What a bounce back from last year's 10-12 team. They lost to St. Dom's by 1 at the buzzer, lost to Forest Hills by 2, to Springfield Gardens by 1, and John Jay by 4. That's separating them from a perfect season.
Really, and they have good overall size, bigger in the middle. They're forwards, good athletes, and Suarez can really push that ball down the floor, Barry.
All right, let's see what happens here after that timeout by Chris Pursue. They fell behind early against St. Dom's, trailed by as many as 12. in the first half and rallied to win that. Nice backdoor cut, good look. They've got to get those to drop, and they do get the rebound. It's John Buccaro on the follow.
Buccaro's using that big body of his inside for the offensive rebound.
6'3", 180 sophomore, and he'll have to play big today. Suarez against Grasso. And we get a whistle and a travel called on Chinedo Udo Gilanya, the young man who was born in Africa, grew up in St. Albans, Queens. There's a look at that young man, and he can hurt you with the outside shot. He's a good defensive player, way off the mark, and those are the kind of shots that Grasso usually makes, and he was way off on his shooting there.
It's a tough shot to come down against St. Mary's 2-3 zone and just hoist a long three-pointer. You can get that shot by making a pass or two. When it's swung back to you, then step in and maybe take it.
Yorkie Erickson got it to the baseline, and the shot was missed inside, and a good position on the rebound by Brian Schlee, and a rebounding foul will be called on Udi Galanya.
St. Anthony staying with their man-to-man defense, very aggressive that time. They're giving up a lot of inches, Barry, but with their aggression, they did a nice job on that trip.
Barry DeRay, number 24 in the ball game for St. Mary's. That's one thing that St. Mary's has is an excellent bench. They have 3 guys coming off the bench, giving them 27 points off the bench. And Ryan Schneider, Barry DeRain, and tough Andre Williams at 6'4", 240.
Well, it really makes it a lot easier for a coach when you have guys you can count on. He's playing 7, 8 players, and they all contributed.
So St. Anthony's with 4.5 to go in this first quarter, down 9-4 here. Open for the three-pointer, Buccaro. And skying for the rebound was Pettit. Bryce Pettit. Frauenberg off to the open Pettit. He's an excellent outside shooter, the 6'6" young man from France. And again, good position inside by St. Anthony's. And that's something when you're smaller, you've got to box out.
Well, they did a terrific job there. St. Mary's coming over the back during the foul. Look at the box out on the left side of your screen there. Over the back, an easy call for the official to make.
Foul was on Barry DeRain, his first. Jared Grasso off in the corner, open for the jumper, Schlee. And Sheely couldn't get it to go. They're missing some of those outside shots. This time they've got an open from Callahan. Getting good looks, there are open shots. Down court, Pettit for the layup.
Boy, Pettit runs the floor very well for a big guy. Went out to contest that three. Smart play, continued down the floor for the easy deuce.
First-year starter, came over from France, joined the team, and has played well this year, averaging 12 points. Buccaro off to Grasso. Forced the pass that time. Pettit travels. And the forced pass, they are able to get it back. Ryan Sheely with the force.
Well, you like the way Pettit, he's very long at 6'6", Barry, rangy, not afraid to put his body on the floor.
He had 20 points against St. Anthony's in the first victory that they had. Grasso, good look, but the ball knocked away out of the hands of Terrence Callahan.
Yeah, great pass by Grasso down inside. You have to catch it first and then finish it off.
Well, Chris Pursuit looking on, wants his club to settle down. They're down 7, can't afford to fall behind the St. Mary's team by too much. Tough defense here. Grasso spotted the open man, Schlee. Now this is Callahan. Or check that, it was Buccaro. John Buccaro with his second bucket from outside. And the super sophomore from Hauppauge, who they think is going to be a big-time player, gets his club back within 4.
Oh, he's keeping them in there, Buccaro. Only down 4 right now.
Buccaro with 7 points, all of his team's points. Off to the big guy, and Yorkie Erickson with his first bucket.
Too easy, Barry. That time they got it into Erickson down low in front of the basket.
And on the drive, Callahan draws the blocking foul. You've got to stop the penetration. When you know you've got a 6'6" or 6'8" guy to lay the ball off to, you cannot allow that penetration, and what resulted in an easy layup.
Well, what happens is that by breaking you down to a penetration, you have to have the other guards try to drop down and get in front of the big people and block them out.
Foul was on Suarez. It's his first. Both coaches looking on. Joe Fasano, the outstanding veteran official, checking things over at the scorer's table, working with Joe Ciliano. And Bob Sarkis is the
third official, the alternate official. There's Joe. He's been down here many times before.
Hey, he's one of the outstanding high school officials. He's been around for so many years, just as a great, getting younger, by the way.
Well, maybe he's dyeing his hair a little bit. You know, that stuff you put on your hair there. I don't see any gray in Joe's hair.
But Joe, he's been around an awful lot, and it's great to have officials like Joe.
Well,
they just do a great job year in and year out.
Well, St. Dominic's run of 3 in a row was ended stunningly by this upset-minded Friar Club, and Timmy Cluse is concerned. He knows that St. Anthony's has nothing to lose out here, and they're playing on emotion.
Well, the other thing that you could see early on, a little bit of the jitters, but they've been getting good looks, St. Anthony's. They just have to go ahead, take their time, and start to make them. And, of course, if you're knocking down threes, you got a chance.
Well, there's a problem with the clock as we'll take a look at the road to the top, and the lovely St. Anthony cheerleaders looking on. Victory over Holy Trinity, 71-62. And then the dramatic 61-60 win over St. Dominic's on a buzzer-beating shot by Mr. Devin Tomlinson, who scored the last 5 points, the last baskets they scored. And, of course, a bye, and Kellenberg blown out by St. Mary's. And they've been doing that to teams. You look at St. Mary's, averaging 80, giving up just 56.
Well, they get the ball up the court very quickly, and then with their size, they can dominate inside, getting second and third shots.
All right, so we're just about ready, I believe. Joe Fasano going over things still at the scorer's table. And we mentioned that St. Dominic's has been the dominant team over 95, 96, and 97. Of course, Tom Tarantino did a great job for many years, and he departed. He's out in California.
But going back, Barry, I remember in the mid-'60s, Tom McCory was the coach at St. Dominic's for many, many years. And, of course, they had players like, well, Ralph Willard took later on, but Tommy Riker, who ended up playing for South Carolina University, and, of course, with the New York Knicks. So they've always had good basketball at St. Dominic's.
And over the last few years, Rob Pavanelli has stepped in and done a terrific job after Tom Tarantino left. Of course, Chaminade was the league champs in 93 and 94, Holy Trinity in 92. You have to go way back to 1979, the last championship that St. Mary's won.
Wow. Well, Tim's doing a terrific job, and you can see 19-4 this year.
Well, problem with the clock, but I think it's been resolved here. Inbound pass goes to Peter Zito. Remember, they're playing without one of their key players, Chris Farrell, the 6'4" junior from Hauppauge. Shot clock is not working here, so there's a baseline shot by Zito. He was left wide open. He wouldn't get it to drop. Now the shot clock is working. St. Mary's with a 13-7 lead on the basketball. Andre Williams in the game for St. Mary's, and Joel Suarez showing his sweet stroke from the outside.
Nice looking shot, Barry. Took his time, buried that long three-pointer from the right side.
He had 25 against Kellenberg, including 6 threes, and he's not 100% healthy, is he, Brian?
No, he was out for 10 days. He had some root canal work done, and it sort of set him back a little bit. I like his size as a point guard. Only a sophomore. He's good 6'1", very strong.
On the drive here, Callahan nearly lost it under some tough pressure by St. Mary's. Grasso finds the open man in the corner. Brian Sheely missing. And again, this is a club that will shoot 23s a game. And they have been shooting about 45% from the field. Second foul will be on Joel Suarez. And boy, they'd love St. Anthony's to get this guy out of the game.
Especially, it's still in the first quarter with about 1:59 to go. See what Tim Cluse does with Suarez in the ball game.
So I'm trying to fight through that pick there, and he got called for the foul. Bucaro, who has all of his team's points. And another poor shot from the outside. And that time, it was John Bucaro misfiring. And again, these are shots that St. Anthony's is going to have to nail. They're not going to get too many second chance opportunities against the much taller
Well, also,
St. Mary's
it's a big part of their offense all season, the ability to take threes and make threes. And again, in the championship game, sometimes you have those jitters early on.
Suarez launches a three, so as St. Anthony's unable to hit from the outside, Suarez hits a couple of threes. He has 6.
Well, same spot in the shot before, that left side of the floor, knocked it down.
19-7, a 12-point lead and a foul as you look at Andre Williams, the 6'4", 240-pounder who had 20 points against St. Anthony's in their second game this year, in which they won 80-67. And there's a sub for the Friars coming into the game, number 12, Dennis Terry, a 5'9" senior from Selden. Great quickness. He really adds a spark defensively.
Well, the one thing Terry does when he comes into the ball game, he can put pressure on people, and we'll see if he gets matched up against Suarez.
Yep, they got to get out there and pressure the perimeter. So a couple of free throws that time for Grasso.
That's the matchup right now with Terry on Suarez.
St. Anthony's 3 for 15 from the field. St. Mary's 8 for 11. Wow. Frauenberg off to Suarez. Suarez fighting for that rebound, kept it alive, batted around. Williams with that big body trying to come up with it. Instead it's Terry. And what are we going to get, a blocking foul? Yes, a blocking foul. Good call by the official, and I don't think that Frauenberg was set there in that play. You have to give him some room.
You have to give him at least a step. He can't be moving. Very good call that time. Important right now for St. Anthony's to try to chip back and get back into this ball game.
First foul against Frauenberg.
You can see he was still moving before he got that charge.
There's an injured player being attended. It's Grasso with his shoulder or neck. Terry. Open for the jumper. Devin Tomlinson picking up where he left off when he buried the three to bury St. Thomas the other day.
Well, they're going to need some more of that from Tomlinson. No hesitation, Barry. Came right back and knocked it down.
Young man from Amityville, the senior, a three-point shooter. He could come off the bench and light it up on the drive. Foul called as Budu Gilanya on the drive was fouled, and Chinedo will go to the free throw line. Tomlinson picks up the foul. 7-point ball game. If you're Chris Pursuit with your star Grasso on this bench right now, you just want to come out of this first quarter within 6-7 points, saying, hey, I'll take it. We were down by 12 a few minutes ago.
Right now, only down by 7 with 17 seconds to go. It'll also give him a chance to get his win back.
First opportunity at the line for the young man from St. Albans, where he's a 64% free throw shooter, a high of 10 against St. John's. We'll get a substitution. Zito will come out of the ball game right now, and checking back in is number 23, John Buccaro. Buccaro, a real up-and-coming young star who's going to be a key factor for St. Anthony's in the future. Play the 3, 4, or 5 spot. An 8-point lead is Terry. We'll bring it across, get some pressure here.
Yeah, St. Mary's going into a 3-quarter diamond press, trying to trap at half court.
Open is Buccaro. Bullseye for John Buccaro. So they've hit 2 threes in a row, and the first quarter will come to an end, and that is a real lift, those 2 threes that they hit late in that quarter.
Buccaro did an outstanding job keeping St. Anthony's in this in the first quarter, only down 5 points. He's had a real fine first half. You can see him here knocking down that long 3.
We'll be back with second quarter action. You're watching Cablevision's LISN. Late in this first quarter have gotten them back from a 12-point deficit. Remember, Brian, they trailed 19-7 and now trail 20-15 heading into the second quarter.
John Buccaro, big first quarter, 10 points, Barry, knocking down those long 3s, and that's, again, for St. Anthony's to have a chance here tonight. They're going to have to continue that shooting.
And there's good news concerning Jared Grasso. It's a stinger, but he's still on the bench right now. He should be back in the game, but showing a little depth, St. Anthony's. They cut into that deficit with him on the bench, Brian. On the drive, Callahan lost the ball. Andre Williams comes up with it. So the Gales quickly get it to Frauenberg, who had the hot hand early. Drive to the hoop, blocked beautifully by Buccaro. Callahan on the drive. And those are the unforced turnovers you can't afford. Tomlinson losing it right in front of the St. Mary's bench.
They really hurt because you're coming down and you're not even getting a shot attempt.
Suarez playing with 2 fouls. Has the big size advantage and weight advantage against Terry. Pettit looking inside. Andre Williams posting up easily. He just had no trouble posting up against the Brian Dolger at 6'2".
Well, it's 6'4", Williams, very strong, 240. You have to move him off the block.
Brian Dolger got blocked inside as he went into the traffic. He's a banger and a bruiser, Brian, out of Kings Park. And the lead is 7, St. Mary's with the basketball.
St. Anthony staying with their man-to-man. Very aggressive.
Pettit on the drive, pulling up. Joe Fasano says, count the basket, and a blocking foul. So Bryce Pettit, who had a high of 31 against St. John the Baptist, will go to the free throw line to try to complete a three-point play.
Well, look, I like if he's going down with that left hand. Takes the hit, a little bit of a hang time, Barry. Finishes it off. He's very mobile outside for a rangy player at 6'6", and of course, all those European players can shoot that long ball.
You know, Brian, one of the things that really is interesting about him, he uses the bank shot. You don't see a lot of young players do that. I don't know if the Europeans use the bank shot a lot more than American players. Off the turnover, St. Mary's right back, Frauenberg. And that was a quick 4. So suddenly that 5-point lead is now back to an 11-point lead.
Back to 11, and again, Frauenberg doing a good job penetrating.
9 for Frauenberg. Terry rejected by Pettit.
Pettit with those long arms coming from the weak side.
He can move up quickly. Frauenberg at 6'4". They throw the ball away. So they've got good size at Frauenberg 6'4", Pettit 6'6", Erickson at 6'8", Williams at 6'4".
Yeah, terrific overall size, and again, they're very rangy with some long arms. Pettit that time coming from the weak side, coming across the lane, gets that right arm up and blocks the shot, keeps it in bounds.
Well, Jared Grasso back in the game. They've got to get their big guy in the game, and he is in right now. Let's see if it's going to affect his shooting. Terry knocked away. You saw Suarez with the quick hands swiping away, forcing the turnover. He averages about 5 steals a game, and finishing is Frauenberg on the other end.
Yeah, Suarez does a great job coming down, pulling up at the foul line, finding Frauenberg, and again, they busted open now to 13 points.
8 straight points to start this second quarter, and St. Mary's capable of those runs. You don't score 80 points a game if you're not going to have runs like they've had today.
Well, Andre Williams, that big body, puts it right down the floor. Look at Suarez to Frauenberg. That's nice finish that time.
Joel averages about 6 assists a game to go along with 3 steals out of Left Rack City. He was an honorable mention All-American in Street and Smith magazine to start the year, and Chris Pursue knew he'd have to pursue and stop Mr. Suarez, at least contain him.
Well, Chris right now is trying to tell the fellas just to settle down. It's still early in the second quarter. A lot of things can happen in this game, but again, they have to do a good job of getting back, blocking out, and don't give St. Mary's with their big people that post-up position down low.
You know, Suarez did not start the last game. The playoff game against Kellenberg, came off the bench, and he lit it up for 25 points, including 6 threes. And you can see his nice square up ability there. He just sees the basketball and the rim so well. So here's Grasso, his turn to get his club going here. Terry losing the ball off the turnover. Suarez hunts it down. Pulls up. And now St. Anthony's looking to get some transition going here. Tomlinson all the way. Tough luck. And the ball goes over to St. Mary's.
Devin Tomlinson that time was in and out, just came out, took it strong to the basket. Bad break for St. Anthony's.
Yep. They're down 13, 28-15. They were down 5 at the end of the quarter. They haven't scored to start this second quarter. Pettit, who's an excellent high post passer to Erickson back in the game. Frauenberg driving, and a foul spotted by Joe Ciliano. St. Mary's slashing, protecting the ball well as they go to the hoop and drawing fouls.
Frauenberg did a nice job again driving Barry with his left hand and took the contact at 6'3", you know, 6'4". He's a junior, has nice size.
11 points, so he's a hard-nosed kid. As we mentioned, one of those old-time players, an excellent passer. Played the 5 spot last year, and they asked him to move with Erickson coming in, and he's done an excellent job. And you like those kind of versatile players who'll just step into a new position and just step up as he had. He's averaging 11 points this year, and as I mentioned earlier, with a high of 26.
Anytime you can get players to play more than one position, it really helps your team.
He already has 11 in this ball game. Makes the second. A 9-0 run to start this second quarter for St. Mary's. Grasso against Suarez. Penetrating, soft one-hander.
Nice move that time with the spin dribble getting into the lane.
4 for Grasso, who's been held in check in the 2 games against St. Mary's, 12 and 14 points respectively. He draws a lot of box-and-one defenses, and St. Mary's hasn't employed that against him. Headed. York American, nice ball movement by the big guys. Williams has it blocked inside. And right now, St. Anthony's trying to get their crowd, and they could use a 3. They'll try one here. Callahan missing, follows his own miss. As he put it on the floor, a foul spotted by Ciliana. Officials calling a pretty tight game here.
Pretty tight, but you know, Callahan takes that shot. He knows where the ball's going, was able to follow his own shot.
And that is the 3rd foul on Joel Suarez. That is a huge foul. Let's check in with Jimmy Cavallo.
All right, gentlemen, you know, any mother would know that the day before her due date is nothing but an uncomfortable feeling. You just want to sit home and do nothing. But here is Karen Kluse, Tim Kluse's wife. And Karen, you are a gamer for being here today. How you feeling?
I am feeling great. We just got to win. That's it.
And there was nothing.
That's the best birthday present you could possibly have, out excluding, of course, Junior here. That's due tomorrow.
And little Kevin Gregory's in here, but nothing would keep you from this game today?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
All right, now the plan.
We're putting off labor right now.
Well, the plan of attack is if nature calls, Tim is going to walk down, shake everyone's hand, tell his coaches, you know the game plan, and they're off. How do you like that?
You bet. That's it. All the way. We're set.
All right, that's Karen.
There it goes.
That's Karen Kluse right there. Due date is tomorrow. That's little Kevin Gregory right there. Kevin Gregory, your gales are up big right now, Kev. Take it away, gentlemen.
Gotta love it, Brian Mahoney.
I tell you that the wives of coaches, they're special people. Believe me, I know firsthand.
Your wife Barbara's here, backing you up, Coach. All right, McCutcheon is coming in the game for St. Mary's. Off the miss, Williams will follow. They're playing volleyball here again as Yorkie Erickson. And we're going to get a foul call. Joe Fasano, little push off on the rebound.
Saw something underneath. Is a look at Joel Suarez, picked up his 3rd foul, so he's going to have to sit for the rest of this half. But St. Mary's doing a great job on the offensive board.
Suarez with 6 points, a couple of threes, 22nd timeout taken by Tim Kluse. So he's lost the glue right now with 4:05 to go, and Suarez may sit down the rest of this half. It's a golden opportunity for this gritty St. Anthony's club, especially Grasso, without Suarez to defend against him, to really make some things happen out there.
Every play counts, son. Let's go. They're shooting. Next time down, Bryce, let's get Ryan right now. 1, 2, 3, defense.
But I think Tim was very unhappy with that foul call. St. Anthony's be shooting free throws. But you're right, Barry. Right now, St. Mary's has 11-point lead, so yeah, you can take out Suarez. You can see that reach-in foul right there, and anytime you put your hand in the cookie jar, these officials are going to get you.
John Buccaro at the line. This is an excellent free throw shooting club. St. Anthony's, they shoot almost 80% from the foul line. They're in the bonus now with 4 minutes to go. They're going to get plenty of chances here. Buccaro looking for point number 11, and he drops it through. It's under double digits. It's a 9-point lead.
Little full court pressure this time, trying to trap on the first pass.
John McCutcheon in the game now. He started the other day when Suarez was out. Beautiful passing, and it was Pettit spotting Williams underneath.
You got to like that when the big people look for each other, and Pettit did a great job to get it to Williams down low. This time he converted that basket. Nice pass, nice look, unselfish play right here. And big Williams goes up strong, has a chance for 3 points.
Callahan with his 2nd foul. At the line will be Williams, who transferred from Archbishop Malloy. What a great program they've had over the years.
Well, Jack Curran, of course, one of the all-time great high school coaches.
So Williams makes it 32-20. And Grasso will bring it down. St. Anthony's down 12. Callahan shuffle to feet, travel. So Terrence Callahan, the senior from Bayshore, who was a sub last year. You got to think that this St. Anthony's club, only Grasso is back as a starter, and here they are playing in the championship game.
Well, Chris Basu said, hey, when we knocked down that shot the other night, he's just happy to be here and get these kids some more experience.
Yep. In the corner, timeout will be called. Good heady play by Jimmy Frauenberg. As he calls the timeout, in trouble, the young man from Hewlett.
St. Anthony's doing a terrific job that time. The ball went from the wing into the corner automatically. A nice double team, forcing St. Mary's to call that timeout.
We've got more high school basketball coming up next week on Cablevision LISN from this Hofstra University Physical Fitness Center. It'll be a great West Hampton team, undefeated, taking on Southside, who knocked off Hempstead yesterday. West Hampton, of course, won the overall Suffolk Championship, beating North Babylon.
They got a 2-on-1. Devin, you're the last guy back, right? And there's a guy in the, huh? On the board. Who's the last guy back? Javin fade. Now, 2-on-1, there's a guy in the basket. Back up. Javin shake, get your hand up. Now we're fine. Knock down your shots, all right? And defend. Simple as that. Let's go. Go, baby. Keep working on the board.
Chris is trying to keep it very simple. Hey, we got to defend. We got to knock down our shots, and we'll be all right. Which is, he's being very positive in that huddle. You like to see that out of the coach.
Well, Chris Pursue got some good training, coaching under Richie Roach, who's now up at Hobart. Played for Lutheran, great program there. Played for you a little bit at St. John's, finished his career at NYU, and he's just a terrific young man. They've won 9 of the last 11. The kids love this guy.
Well, it's so good to see, and you know, Chris is the type of guy who will get with the kids and work them real hard, and just doing a great job.
McCutcheon looking inside for Williams, who's got a big height advantage on Tomlinson. Yorkie Eriksson, thank you at home, and the 6'8" youngster from Sweden, he now has 4. Eriksson is averaging almost 12 a game. Grasso with his club down by 14, so they need some points here with 3:10 to go. Grasso, nice dish off the glass, no good for Bukhara's. Got to make that.
Got to make that shot that time. Grasso doing a good job breaking down the defense and dropping it off. And again, Bukhara's been terrific this first half so far. Just missed that scoring opportunity.
I hate to think where they'd be without him. He has more than half their points. Good ball movement here. Open is Frauenberg. When you gotta like this way the St. Mary's club is. They respond with Suarez on the bench, and they've opened the lead now to 17 points.
Yeah, John McCutcheon coming into the game for Suarez did a terrific job of finding Frauenberg for that jump shot.
Look at Frauenberg spotting Pettit running the floor, and you can't diagram it any better, Coach.
And the big fella getting out of the ring. A little bit like Bobby Jones, remember? Played for the 76ers.
That's right. He looks like him, the kind of body, 8 points. That young man who just converted off the beautiful pass. 19-point lead. Callahan will try the paint. Short. Scraps for the ball on the alternate possession arrow. If they call it a jump ball, it'll go over to St. Mary's.
Well, what's happening is on the rebound, right away they're looking up the floor and they find Pettit running the court. And again, Bobby Jones ran for Carolina, ran for the 76ers, and Pettit is long and rangy like that.
Jimmy Frauenberg, who averages 4 assists, showed why he's an all-around player. That was a beautiful pass. Remember, he's not the point guard, folks. Point guard's on the bench with 3 fouls. And when you've got that kind of experience and that kind of headiness out on the court, you got to love it. And Tim Cluse says this is a terrific ball club, one of the best Catholic school teams. May equal the great St. Dominic's team of a couple of years ago. Went on the State Federation Championship. 19-point lead for St. Mary's. Remember, this was 20-15. They had cut the lead. And there's a bank shot up and in. And hurting him inside, Frauenberg.
Yeah, the size is really taking over this time. And again, St. Mary's doing a good job of handling the ball on the perimeter, getting it inside.
Tough luck, Tomlinson on the miss. And Eriksson owning the backboard.
Eriksson, a big wide body with that frame at 6'8". Tough to get the ball from him.
Jimmy Frauenberg with 17 first half points. Pettit missing from the outside. St. Anthony's on the rebound, Brian Shealy. Down to 1 minute 8 seconds to go. Grasso on the drive, the dish off inside. Tomlinson, again, tough luck.
Yeah, it's just the size of St. Mary's, right? And St. Anthony's doing a good job getting in. They just can't finish at the basket, and you have to attribute that to the great size that they have along their front line.
Under a minute to go. Williamson What a target he is at 6'4", and in close he finishes 7 points off the bench.
Yeah, Andre showed good hands that time, catching it in traffic.
Grasso will bank it off the glass and in. Grasso with 6. We're down to the final 30 seconds. They can hold the ball for the final shot here. But this St. Mary's club averaging 80, has 43 already. Looking for more, and they've got more. Headed on the drive.
Boy, I really like the way he moves on the floor. Very fluid, catching it in traffic, showing he can put it down with his left hand.
10 points for Pettit, a lot of weapons. So here's Suarez, only 6, and they've got 45 points at halftime, Brian.
Look at a great job by John McCutcheon playing defense there. Really tenacious, getting in your face, doing a good job. You hate those little guys. They're pesky. They can drive you nuts.
Yeah, John's a little guy at 5'8", 160, and the St. Mary's fans enjoying it. Chris Bursu not enjoying it, but he's watching his club, like many of the Catholic school teams this year, getting run over by the St. Mary's Gales of Timmy Cluse.
Well, at halftime, he's just going to have to gather and forget about the first half. Let's start out 0-0 and see what they can do in that second half to try to get back into this ball game.
17 points for Frauenberg. He'll go to the line to complete a terrific first half. Remember, he's back next year.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good slasher, has nice size at 6'4", and again, good around the basket.
7 for 10 from the field, 3 for 4 at the foul line. Frauenberg having the half of his life. Nothing but net. And Callahan will launch it off the front rim. So what was a 5-point ball game, 20-15, now is a 25-point halftime lead for the high-flying Gales of Timmy Cluse and St. Mary's.
The second quarter, St. Mary's was really dominant inside and outside, 27-7. Just shows the power and the strength of this team. And again, with their front line and all this, Barry, with Suarez, Joel on the bench.
Absolutely. It shows you the depth of this team and the strength, the balance that they have. We'll be back with our halftime report in just a moment. You're watching Championship High School Basketball on Cablevision's LISN.
But now.
Girls, this is a winner-take-all format. Give the viewers a chance to know what's in store for the winner. Where do they go from here?
Well, it is. In the New York State Federation is a series of playoffs that we have to participate in order to qualify. And the winner of today's game goes ahead and will play the
done it all inside and out.
They really played terrific. I don't think Tim Cluse could ask for a better performance in this first year. Inside and outside, the big guys are playing big down low too.
Well, in a game like this, a 25-point lead, let's go inside the numbers and check out halftime. And the shooting jumps right out, Coach. St. Mary's shooting well. St. Anthony's had to shoot well. They did not, and the rebounding.
Well, St. Anthony's, they depend upon the three-point shooting, only 3 for 11. And, of course, St. Mary's is very big inside, causing a lot of problems for St. Anthony's penetration.
Take a look at some of our primetime players. It all starts with Joel Suarez, 19 points, a good first quarter.
Well, he shows he can step out and knock down that 3, besides being a very good playmaker.
And also, St. Mary's not a one-dimensional team. They do not just go inside to the big fellas. They can get out in transition, and Frauenberg finishes.
Number 35, Williams, puts his big body down. Suarez over to Frauenberg on a nice break in transition.
And the one highlight for St. Anthony is a super sophomore size, 17 shoe and all. It's Mr. John Bucaro.
I really like this young player. He's trying to do everything to keep St. Anthony's in this ball game.
Real quickly, Coach, you're on the losing end of this game. If you're St. Anthony's, what are you trying to do down 25 in the second half?
Well, Chris Pursue right away is going to tell his kids, forget about that first half. Let's start out 0-0. Let's try to chip and claw our way back into this.
As Brian Mahoney, the coach, I know he's been on the upside of those big halftime leads more times than none. We shall take a quick timeout here. The second half, St. Anthony, St. Mary's. Who's the boys' Catholic champs? Come on back.
Hal Sassel, our crew, back at Hofstra's second half underway, and the Friars of St. Anthony's with the basketball, trailing 47-22, Brian, and they'll try to get some points on the board. Grasso missing. And again, just one shot at the basket.
One and you're done, and that time St. Mary's opened up, changing defense into a 1-3-1 zone, forcing St. Anthony's again, who struggled from the outside in that first half, to take a long corner jump shot.
Frauenberg looking inside. This is a club that doesn't make too many mistakes. Good pass again by the big guy. Erickson becoming a big target inside. And you love that when your big people, your 6'4" guy, find your 6'8" guy on the baseline. You can't do it any better.
No, Andre Williams again coming for that high-low situation, catches the ball, turns and dumps it inside to Erickson, who's big and strong. And again, nice to see the two big people passing the ball well. That tells you there's good coaching going on at St. Mary's.
Absolutely, and Timmy Klus has done a terrific job over there. We'll re-identify the lineup for you. Callahan is 13, Grasso 25, Zito is 22. 23 is Buccaro. He's been about the only guy hitting shots from the outside, and he nails another one. So he's got 15 of his team's 25 points.
Yeah, John Buccaro's just playing an outstanding game so far for St. Anthony's. The big sophomore, very much impressed by his performance.
3 threes, his high is 17, and he's got 15 already. Suarez off the glass. Boy, what an explosive first step. That's a big-time Division I first step.
No doubt about it, and that time he got it. He put it down with that left hand and pulled up for that automatic jump shot. He has a lot of ability. He's going to be a prospect.
Only a sophomore, remember. Zito off to Buccaro, this time off the rim. And on the battle for the ball, Joe Fasano says jump ball. Ball will go over on the alternate possession arrow to the Gales of St. Mary's. Tim Klus, as they look for their first championship at the school since 1979, Brian. That's 19 years ago.
It's quite a long drought, but you know, Tim, is with his basketball background and his ability to work with these young kids, is just doing a great job.
Frauenberg. What you like is the ball fake, the little things that they do that just don't show up in the box score. No. You would appreciate it as a coach.
That's why they run that high-low. Williams to Erickson inside. Look at the passing. Look at the moves. Pump fake. All those things, Barry, they're not done by accident. That's because of training, of practicing, breaking down in your daily workout. 20
points for Jimmy Frauenberg. Bad pass that time, and Suarez will try to make him pay. Look at that ball movement there. But Joe Fasano says offensive foul. It's number 4 on Suarez. Boy, they're fortunate that they're up by 19 points.
Just trying to make
29
makes a good decision here, Barry, but just goes a little too far. And again, off the ball, you leave your feet, you're going to be in trouble.
So Suarez in a showcase game will sit down, but again, it shows you the strength of this club. Here's your star player going out. And when he went out before, we talked about them opening up the huge lead. That's how good this St. Mary's
John
team
McCutcheon comes in. He's not looking to score points. He's in there to play hard defense and distribute the basketball. Does a terrific job as the backup point guard.
Grasso with a one-hander against the smaller McCutcheon. So there's a big difference. He's got 4 or 5 inch difference, 8 points for Grasso. Joe Fasano says ball knocked out of bounds. We'll have a foul called. And Timmy Klus looking on. Fouls on Sheely, his second. And Erickson trying to seal off. Zito gets called for the foul.
Yeah, and plus the pass came from a difficult angle on the sideline, Barry. You got to try to get that foul line extended or below to dump it in. That pass came from too far out. You know, again, those are things that you go over, and I'm sure next week they'll go over that in practice.
Callahan on the drive. So St. Anthony's answering back. Callahan with 3, averaging 10 points. And it's 54-29. Williams. And again, you saw the good passing ability that time of Pettit. So St. Anthony's with 5 unanswered points. Trying to make it more. Buccaro spun out. And Callahan with the rebound. Grasso. Nice pass, Buccaro.
Gotta like that by Grasso, penetrating, but again looking for his teammates.
17 for Buccaro. St. Anthony's with a little bit of a run here. And they'll intercept the ball.
You'd love to see that scrappy play. Right away, go to a double team, get a rotation, and come up with the steal.
Grasso off in the corner. Buccaro in traffic. Good ball movement here. Oh, and they're on fire. Brian Sheely, as they've run off 10 straight points. It's 54-33, and you got to love it as a coach. Your kids come out here. They're down by 25. There's no quit in this club. It's a championship, and they respond.
What I like about this is the passing. Everybody's going to touch this ball. It's going to be swung. Everybody's taking a good look. Nice pump fake that time. Pulls up, buries that jump shot.
Brian Sheely, these are the shots they were missing in the first half. We told you this is a good shooting ball club.
Well, you know what I like about it, and I can see Chris has done a good job. Touch passes, everybody getting a handle, swinging the ball, and then right away they came back and hit him with a surprise trap defensively. So they're not done. They're willing to fight and try to claw their way back into this ball game.
Their tallest player is just 6'4". And, of course, we mentioned they lost so many key players. They lost Dylan Callback, who's at Holy Cross, John Anazagasti, who's at Army Prep, Chris Allen at RIT, and Jama Williams at Stony Brook. You lose 4 starters in Catholic League basketball, and you're back here playing in the championship game. That tells you a lot about the coaching and also about the ability that these kids have shown and improved in.
Well, he has some young players that are going to scrap and claw for the full ball game. And again, it's nice to see them come out and make it a little bit of a run here.
So Erickson will inbound. Remember, they trailed St. Dominic's by 12, came back to win that game, trailed by 7 in the final quarter, in the final minute and a half. But this one, they're down by a huge margin here still, by 21 points. That will help. Callahan with the steal. Buccaro. Grasso. Buccaro, bullseye! Ho-ho! John Buccaro with 20 points. It's 54-36.
All that was created because of Grasso's penetration, looking for the hot man. Buccaro's having some ball game.
Open Pettit trying to answer, missing. And over the back, Erickson with a foul. So the St. Anthony's fans behind us, with 3:14 to go, enjoying it. Timmy Klus getting a little nervous here. 11 straight points for the Friars.
Nice box out that time. Erickson came over the back.
Grasso. Callahan. Good ball movement. Grasso on the penetration. Back out. Sheely missing. He comes up with the ball. Young man out of Seaford.
You gotta like the dribble penetration and the kickoff.
And Sheely makes it 13 straight points. And it's now 54-38 with 2:40 to go.
What a run this time. Let's see if they can get another stop defensively.
And a foul will be called as Frauenberg drove. It'll be the 3rd foul on Brian Sheely.
Chris Pursuit has to be so pleased with the way his team has come out in this 3rd period, with the fight, the willingness to be unselfish, moving the ball, really working hard.
And again, remember, they were able to make a run with Suarez on the bench. They weren't able to do that in the first half, and now the absence of Suarez may be affecting St. Mary's, but Williams answers that 13-point run with a bucket here.
Andre Williams is such a big body, 6'4", 240, good post up, showed a nice touch there, Barry.
He's just back from a groin injury that limited his playing time. Zito will force it and draw the foul. So he was fortunate to get fouled, Peter Zito, the 6'3" junior from St. James, filling in for Chris Farrell. And again, they're without one of their starters who averages 10 points a game and 8 rebounds, Chris Farrell, who's their big guy, their center at 6'4", sitting it out because he picked up a flagrant foul the other day.
St. Anthony's not a big team overall. They could really use Chris Farrell in the ballgame.
Pettit committed the foul, his first. Zito hits the free throw. St. Anthony's has done a good job at the foul line. That's his first point. We mentioned they're the best in the league at shooting free throws. Off the back rim, Zito! Oh, that would have been a three-point change.
Great hustle, though. Really working hard, coming up with those offensive
Grasso,
boards.
the no-look pass. Zito went up and got fouled. Foul will be on Ryan Schneider, number 22 for St. Mary's. His first.
You got to really be happy. Look at the way Grasso can pass that ball. The no-look pass, a little bit of Bob Cousy there.
The kids listening to us, Brian, said, Bob who? We may have to paraphrase that a little bit.
Well, their parents would remember, I'm sure.
Zito hits the first. He'll get another one.
Talking about Jared Grasso, you know, he's averaging 20 points for the season, but in this game, he's really playing unselfish.
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
doing a nice job of finding people, getting them involved, all off his dribble penetration.
Williams will sit down. St. Mary's will send Udu Gilanya back into the game. So Zito hits the free throws, and it's 56-42. They have gone on a 15-1 run, a 15-2 run. And St. Mary's with the ball. This is Barry DeRain, number 24. He gets tied up on the alternate possession arrow. The Friars get it back with 1:49 to go. If they could cut it to 10 points here, we may have a ball game going into the fourth quarter.
They're doing it with their defense. Good double team along the sideline. Look at
Here's Callahan. Oh, baby. 56-44, a 17-2 run. Callahan with 5. Erickson knocked away, and Callahan commits the foul. Remember, Suarez picked up his fourth foul about 4 minutes into this half, and they have gone absolutely wild since then.
What a nice pass by Grasso, finding Callahan going, taking it strong to the basket. Again, Jared Grasso doing a great job of finding his teammates.
Third foul on Callahan. Here's Pettit. No foul. There was contact, and Callahan's got the ball. They can cut it to under double digits. They were down by 25 points. They're down by 10 here, Brian Mahoney. But by 12, it could be 10 here if they made it. Excuse me. And Erickson with a rebound on the miss.
Took a tough shot that time, but again, they're really letting everything hang out on the floor. Another double team in the corner.
They find the open man, and Udo Galanya will get the bucket, his first of the game, and a huge one. It's a 14-point ball game. Bucaro thought he got fouled there, but no call made. 58-44.
See if St. Mary's holds for the last shot of the quarter.
They can. There's 25, now 23 seconds left in this wild third quarter. Udo Galanya, nice dish off.
Boy, you gotta love that dribble penetration with that bounce pass, Barry.
9 for Erickson, and the lead is back to 16. Grasso tried to cut it here, will not with the air ball. 0.5 seconds to go. But give credit to St. Anthony's for a terrific run. They went on a 17-2 run to cut a 25-point deficit. So that's the story at the end of 3. As the club of Chris Pursue comes back, makes a game of it. They still trail by 16. We head to the final 8 minutes. You're watching Cablevision's exciting LISN.
Button up your overcoat when the wind is free. We'll take good care of you at Genovese.
Genovese was founded on a vision of
the action, and I'll tell you, we're seeing some great basketball here from both teams. St. Mary's with a great second quarter and a great third quarter, answered here by St. Anthony's to get back in this game, even though they now find themselves down by 16 after those 2 late buckets.
As a coach, you love to see your team respond like that. Whatever Chris Pursue said at halftime, it really registered. His kid came out. There was like 10 of them on the floor out there trying to chip away to get back into this ball game.
We'll see how long they'll keep Suarez on the bench. He has those 4 fouls. They still got a comfortable lead right now. They've just changed the score here from 60 to 44 to 60 to 43, Hal Sass. So it's a 17-point lead. Maybe they gave a 3-pointer basket earlier. It should have been a 2, Brian. That's the only thing I could think of. Here's Pettit. This is Schneider, 24. Ryan Schneider's father, Chris Schneider, the coach of the girls team of Sacred Heart, who won the championship last year. Chris here watching his son Ryan play. He's a good ball player, averaging 9 points off the bench. Just a junior. Pettit missing. Good box out by Tomlinson. Up court, Callahan. Remember, they can hit a lot of threes, so they can make a run here. It's a good shooting ball club, and they push it up quickly. And Tomlinson in the game for 3 points. Terry will try a 3. It's not the guy you want taking the 3. He's not that great a shooter. They'll go in the corner. Lee thought he got fouled. Sheely, rather. And Frauenberg has had a terrific game with the ball. He's picked up the slack with, of course, Suarez with just 6 points in the game and in foul trouble.
Good pressure by St. Anthony's here, really getting up tight, playing the perimeter play is very tough.
Frauenberg, shot clock, still plenty of time. We're down to 23. Erickson, good look inside. Foul will be called on Sheely as Ryan Schneider got the ball. 4th foul on Sheely. Ryan started half the season. He was their #2 scorer earlier in the year out of Floral Park, but he separated his shoulder and it really affected his shot. He's a good open floor player, averaging 9 points and a high of 16 this year.
His dad, too, I know for a lot of years. Just a terrific coach, doing a great job over at Sacred Heart.
Terry with the rebound for St. Anthony's. Dennis Terry. Here's Jared Grasso. Tough shot. Went with the left hand, tried to maintain some body control there. He drew the contact, and he's shaken up, still hurting from that stinger that he suffered in the first half, Brian.
In the first quarter, and that time I think Jared decided he wanted to draw that foul. Good move, crossover move, getting into the lane, took the hit, and again, he'll go for 2 shots opportunity, but you got to try to convert these now with 6:34 to go in this ball game.
90% free throw shooter, Chris Pursue. Loves this kid. He's going to miss him. Young man out of Syosset who had a high of 34 against Chaminade. Chaminade had a tough year this year, one of the poorest seasons they've had. They've been a perennial power, but they'll be back. They always find a way of getting back there. They've won Catholic championships, of course, in '93 and '94. Frauenberg off to Erickson, and the big kid from Sweden will bring it across. Looking. Almost stolen away. Oh, what a pass. And Frauenberg converts.
What a great pass by Bryce that time. Came out to relieve the pressure at half court. And, you know, those are things, Barry, you can't coach. You either have the instincts or not. It's a beautiful touch pass.
Frauenberg with 23 points. Let's look again at that great pass.
Comes up to relieve the pressure and then automatically sees his teammate going in for the easy deuce.
Frauenberg 9 for 12 at the field, misses the free throw, and it's 62-44. So they did give him that point back. He missed earlier. From the corner, Devlin Tomlinson. It was the other corner that he hit the game-winning shot. He says, "I'll try the right corner." Oh, look at Pettit run the floor.
I tell you, I said Bobby Jones. He reminds me an awful lot of him. A rangy 6'6", little thin, but nice instincts on the court.
Well, he may go back to France, but if you're a college coach watching this game or watching a tape of this game,
you got to take
a
chance at somebody. 6'6", he has good hands, runs the floor, rangy, can block some shots.
Jimmy Frauenberg picks up the foul. And Tommy Pecora, the assistant coach who does such a great job with Jay Wright, is here watching the game, and I think they may be taking some notes on this guy. He likes the floor. Would you like to stay here and score some baskets maybe in the future?
I think he has a chance to be a very fine player, and again, with he's only 17 years old, he's just got to build up, but he has all the instincts.
Callahan will get another free throw. He has 6 points, 2 for 3 at the line for the senior from Bayshore. Will be going to Springfield College. And it's back to a 16 or now a 15-point ball game with almost 6 minutes to go. So not out of the question if they could come up with some steals and some threes here.
They got to try to get it off their defense. St. Mary's doing a good job of breaking. But look at Terry.
Oh, but look at the alert play. And as this kid come off the bench here in the second half to get some huge baskets, Chinedo Utagelanya.
Well, I'm glad you can pronounce the name because I have a tough time. But Terry did a great job trying to come from the rear for a deflection, and of course, being in the right place at the right time.
Boy, that's what it's all about, a three-point. He has killed him. Remember when they had the run of 15 in a row?
That's right.
Here's Grasso. Tough shot.
Trying to do a little bit too much there,
and that's what happens. That's what happens. Chris Pursuit says you're great players. Sometimes that happens. They just want to make things happen. They feel so confident that they can do it.
Yeah, because Jared was doing a great job off his penetration, finding his teammates.
4 years started, Jared Grasso for St. Anthony's. They're going to really miss him.
Nice composure here by St. Mary's. Running
back in the game,
down.
Suarez batted out, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be St. Anthony's ball. 5:07 to go. They're down by 18.
You know, it's so hard to come back, to climb that mountain. Down 25 points, they cut it down to 14 points, and, you know, it takes so much out of you.
Absolutely. Tomlinson and Erickson quickly up court to Suarez ahead of the field.
I tell you, he has great speed. He really exploded to the basket that time, but Big Erickson doing a nice job with the outlet pass.
10 for Suarez, and that's been a thing I've been impressed with. The youngsters from Europe, Erickson from Sweden, Pettit from France, their total floor game.
Well, Barry, you know, since the NBA has been playing overseas for the last 6-7 years, the European basketball has gotten so good. Look at this rebound, and right away, a little bit like Wes Unseld. Now, you remember him, don't you?
Of course, Brian. Erickson with 9 points and 11 rebounds, but maybe 150 pounds lighter than Wes Unseld.
But, you know, the European, they play basketball all year round. Matter of fact, years ago when I first got out of school, I played over in France my first year. It was just a great experience, but to see the level of play in France, in Italy, in Spain, and throughout Europe, it's just getting better and better. And as we know, the NBA is looking to open up some teams over
And I'll
there.
tell you, your former mentor, a guy you spent many years with, Lou Carnesecca, one of the reasons, because he's brought teams over, whether it was the NIT or other teams for years, to Spain and Italy, and has helped really produce that. Doesn't get a lot of credit for that.
The 20 years I was with Lou at St. John's, we went over 3 times with our teams. Lou was one of the first American coaches to ever give a clinic in Italy, in Rome, back in the early 60s.
Yeah. And that was Grasso to cut into the margin. It's an 18-point lead. Suarez pulling up. And there's Pettit with a rebound.
Little surprise that time. They didn't need that quick shot. But, you know, he's been on the bench all day.
He says, I got a lot of energy. I got to release it here.
Let me go. But he'll get that with experience. He's only a sophomore.
12 points for Suarez, who had a high of 26. Boy, Callahan answers right back. You kind of wonder if St. Anthony's had hit more of these shots in the first half, didn't find themselves buried by that 25-point margin.
Yeah, but that's what happens. You know, Barry, you're in the championship round. Little jitters are in the early going.
Yeah.
Now they seem much more relaxed, don't they?
Absolutely. Barry Landers, Brian Mahoney, Jimmy Cavallo, Catholic School Championship. Sheely hits the shot. Boy, he's come alive in the second half. He has a total of 7. Hit a couple of threes here. And it's a 14-point lead, 3:37 to go.
What energy St. Anthony's is putting out. These kids are not going to die. They're going to work right to the end.
Oh, off the miss by Utagalanya. The rebound to Bucaro. A 3 here would cut it to 11. And Grasso thinking he's got Bucaro in the corner for 3. And Erickson with the rebound.
Erickson does a good job of getting to the ball. Once he gets it, he keeps it up. He's a strong player, nice wide body.
Good strong hands. Oh, Frauenberg's been impressive. Erickson on the follow, got the soft roll. Erickson now in double figures, I believe. He has 11. Suarez has 12, Frauenberg 23, Pettit 10 4 in double figures again. We talked about the balance, and Tomlinson answers. He has 8.
Well, that time off the dribble, that mid-range shot, he put it right in. We know he can shoot the long ball.
Suarez, great body control there.
Terrific move, but you know, Pettit again came up to relieve the pressure and right away catch, find the open Suarez going to the basket.
Grasso answers back with a 3. So the great players of both teams making some big plays. And Chris Pursue's club down 13 after trailing by 25. And again, Brian, not to belabor the point, you got to give credit to the St. Anthony's club. They scratched and clawed and have made a respectable showing here in the second half.
You know, it was just that second quarter. They were down 5 going into the second period, really struggled. But you got to give St. Mary's all the credit because they played terrific. But now in the third period and here in the fourth, they only have 2:19 to go in the game. They're really scratching. But that 25 points, it's tough to climb back up that hill.
Well, the 3-pointers by St. Anthony's here in the second half have helped them get back in the game. 6 for 13 here in the second half after going 3 for 11 in the first. Well, it's going to be a trifecta, perhaps, for Timmy Kluse, his wife Karen there. There's a little Kevin Gregory, who was named, of course, after the two brothers.
What a great name, Kevin Gregory, after Timmy's brothers, Kevin and Greg, of course.
And who passed away, unfortunately. And, of course, his birthday is tomorrow. What a trifecta. A basketball championship, a baby, and a birthday.
He should go to Atlantic City. Keep it going.
Timmy Kluse, terrific guy. And we're happy for him and happy that we're here to share. Brian, it's been a delight working with you this afternoon.
Thanks, Barry. It's been fun watching these kids work so hard. And
Turn
again,
the clock back for you.
Oh, this league has been so good for so many years.
Battling it around inside and a foul. And that time it was Ryan Schneider battling on the boards. Of course, your old St. Agnes program no longer exists in Rockville Center. Has produced some great teams over the years.
They go back. I'm looking at the past winners. We won it here in 65 and 66 and lost in 67 to St. Dominic's with Riker. So we had a pretty good run those 3 years.
Absolutely. Then they won again after St. Dominic's won in 67 and 68. And Timmy Kluse still coaching with Suarez on the sideline. St. Agnes won at 69-70, 71-72, till Gus Alfieri and St. Anthony's took over for a couple of years in 73 and 70.
You know, and it all goes back, I'm sure many of the people watching remember Frank Morrison.
Yeah.
What an influence he had on so many kids in our town, Rockville Center, with that St. Agnes
Speaking
program.
of Rockville Center, they've got a great high school, public school program there. Southside with Russ Reed. The Bailey brothers doing a great job. Altman and Lemanchuk's kid is doing a good job.
And even before, they had Bob Bigelow was a terrific coach at St. Anthony's. He's now doing a great job with the girls in soccer.
Yeah, there's no question that there's been some great communities, and Rockville Center is one that has produced some great basketball, both in the public school and in the Catholic school. Right now, you're looking at Chris Pursue, who graduated from Lutheran, speaking of great basketball program. How about the players they've produced over the years?
Going way back. Reverend Vischer, I'm sure.
Vischer. Talk about international players. He's been over in Europe. He helped send some players over to Iona, a couple of those kids that were playing in Denmark.
He was the one who really started that Lutheran program way back. Reggie Carter, Wayne McCoy. I'm going back a number of years, but again, they've kept it going. Ronnie Hall has continued that after Bobby McKillop.
Buccaro missed the shot, and Buccaro a little frustrated. Don't want to see anything happen. Buccaro has played such a super game, a little frustrated there. Reached in, and there's been a lot of respect on the part of these two teams.
Yeah, you hate to see because both teams have played hard, they've played clean, and you don't want to see something like this at the end of the ball game.
So the St. Mary's Gales, a minute 19 seconds away from the school's first championship since 1979, only their second ever. And Timmy Kluse has been here before and has not been able to win the championship. He's had 3 cracks at it. Will pick up the championship today. Looking for point number 24, and this is one reason why his club has done it today. What a terrific ball game for a guy that doesn't get a whole lot of credit, Jimmy Frauenberg.
He really started off in that first quarter. I believe he had 10, 11 points in the first quarter. Just been so solid. Good size. And again, he's only a junior.
And schools are going to look at this kid because he can shoot the three. He's heady.
We're looking at a lot of young players that are going to be back for another year or 2 more years.
Ryan Schneider will sit down. Timmy Klus with 1:19 to go and a 15-point lead for his ball club. Grasso will try a three and hit it. So it's 77-65, 12 points. They try to stop the clock here. Tomlinson fouling Frauenberg.
Well, you know who made the fouling such a big part of the basketball was our dear friend Jimmy Valvano.
Yes. A product of Long Island, not far from here, Seaford High School.
Exactly right. And of course, when he had that great run to win the national title, he would foul and then hope that the team would miss it. They would cooperate, then come down and hit another three. And it worked for him for quite a few games during his career.
All right, Frauenberg at the line. He'll get a couple here. Hits the back rim. And he'll get another one, a 76% free throw shooter. Very smart player, as we mentioned. Really a coach's kind of player. Makes 1 of 2. And we'll get a substitution right here. Ryan Schneider will come in the game. And McCutcheon will sit down. Again, give credit to John McCutcheon. In the second quarter, when Suarez went out, the game could have turned around. His club had a short lead. They opened up that huge lead with Suarez on the bench. Grasso forces it. Battle inside. Bucaro will put it back up. Erickson with the rebound and immediately is fouled.
Yeah, John McCutcheon did a great job when Suarez picked up the foul. What I liked about him was he's a pest on defense, and then he really distributed the ball terrifically.
And we talked about this young man. We talked about Andre Williams, what a factor he was. And then when they had to go to Udegalanya, who came in off the bench in the third quarter when things were getting a little hairy, when they were that 25-point lead was cut to 14, he got a couple of big buckets. So the depth of this team is shown today.
It's really shown in the championship game. 8 solid players. Tim can go to any one of these kids to come in and step up and have a terrific night for them.
Chris Pursue looking on. He's got to be proud of his club. Playing without Chris Farrell. They fell behind by as many as 25. They now trail by 14. Schneider will go out. St. Mary's will be the B representative of Long Island. They'll have to wait and see what happens with the B schools in this city. And eventually, I'll tell you, this club is going to give some people trouble in the playoffs if they get out of the Catholic school Bs, which is not as strong as the A's, where you have teams like Christ the King involved. You could hear this club maybe in the Federation Championship.
I could see them getting up to Glen Falls. And they had the size, they had scoring from the outside, they had very good point guard play, unselfish play, and again, overall, their strength is their inside, a good combination of speed running the court, and also they can play that half-court game.
Well, in 92, they lost to Chaminade. In 96 to St. Dom's. And here in 98, they will be the Catholic League champions. And this young man's got 2 more years to go.
Boy, I like his size and strength. He's very explosive once he gets the ball, and he showed early on he can knock down that long 3-point shot.
He scored 15 points in about 15 minutes in this game. That's all he's played today with the foul trouble that he's had. 44.5 seconds to go. Ryan Schneider will come into the ball game, and Joel Suarez, Joel should get a big hand. He'll be back to play some more. 15 points. Had the foul trouble. Grasso with a blind pass, and little McCutcheon comes up with it. Erickson quickly fouled by Callahan. You know, you're at this point, you're 15 down, you're not going to make a run. You know, you question, do you need a foul here? Do you stop the clock? Do you really, or should you just let the game play out here?
Well, I think what Chris is doing is, if it was a closer game, this is the way they would be playing. So why not train your kids to do that rather than, but now with 35 seconds to go, it's all over but the final score.
Wholesale changes for St. Mary's. Timmy Klus will get some of his reserves in the game right here. And congratulations go out to St. Dominic's girls. They won the Catholic Girl Championship early today over a very good Holy Trinity team. They upset the #1 seed with experience showing on Michelle O'Brien's club. And here this afternoon, St. Mary's, kind of the new kid, not the new kid on the block, but winning a championship. They were the favorite all year. They had a great season, and they showed why they're a premier club.
You know, and Barry, it's not easy being the favorite. That means there's a lot of weight on those shoulders every night out. Everybody's going to give you your best shot, and yet St. Mary's, you can see the strength of this ball club and what a job Tim Cluse has done.
Well, Timmy Cluse was concerned about his team being flat, worried about them not playing St. Dominic's. They got off to the quick lead, and they opened it up to a huge halftime lead, and they have played a very strong game. Withheld the charge of St. Anthony's that they made in the third quarter and early in the fourth quarter, and now they're just 35 seconds away from the championship. So here's Erickson at the line with both teams making some changes. Erickson with 12, show you the balance. Erickson 12, Suarez 15, Pettit 12, Frauenberg 25, Williams with 9, virtually 5 men in double figures.
And that's what it takes to win championships.
John Buccaro sits down. He played a terrific game. 20 points for that super-looking youngster who'll be back next year playing for St. Anthony's. And Erickson will get another free throw. Erickson now with 13 points and 13 rebounds. He'll get a seat on the bench, and Udi Galanya will replace him. St. Mary's also making a couple of other changes. See if we can mention some of the names in there for St. Mary's. 33, Greg Weber in the game. Number 5 is checked in, Patrick Egan. Number 30, Brian Boyle. And the starters sit down and join it. And St. Mary's, too, will get some fresh faces in there. Or St. Anthony's, number 21, Frank Milady is in the game. Number 33, John Wonazik. Number 21, we mentioned. And let's see who else is in there. Number 20, Kevin Sherry.
That number 10, Ryan O'Leary.
You know the O'Leary family.
Very well. I know mom and dad, and Ryan's a terrific young guy.
I think you went to school with his dad, right?
Dad and mother.
Dad and mother.
Jenny.
Jenny. Kevin Shee from the outside of Sherry missing. Down to 9 seconds to go. They'll let him fight it out. St. Mary's, the 1998 Catholic League champions. Timmy Cluse, his coaching staff, William O'Keefe and Greg Barry, and that picture tells the story.
Really does. A great year for St. Mary's, and of course, win a championship. It's something that his first he won't forget for many, many years.
It's a great feeling. And your final score of 82-65. Timmy Cluse picks up the win, his 91st in his 7 years, and they're waving the banner. St. Mary's, their first basketball championship since 1979. There's Karen, and there's the delightful young man, Kevin Gregory. And
he's trying to figure out
he's got the championship hat on already, I'm telling you.
What's this all about?
Right. Well, we saw Michelle O'Brien's 20-month come out on the court in the first game and say, "Where's my little trophy?"
Well, Tim's going to try to get him ready for a few years from now.
Well, the Cluse family's got to feel good about it, and so does that guy. He loves those kids, and we'll be back with more from Hofstra. You've been watching Championship High School Basketball on Cablevision's LISN.
Have you seen the elf? Have you seen what the elf can do? The elf does its magic with advanced photo system film. Presto, it's loaded. Now take super shots in 3 different sizes. The elf even shows you the whole roll on one print. Have you seen all the elf? Elf, the big name in the advanced photo system from Canon.
Frank Milady. And gentlemen, welcome back to Victory Lane here, St. Mary's bench. And Jimmy Frauenberg, I mean, a big-time effort today. 25 points. You knew all the chips were on the table tonight. And St. Mary's is Catholic champs. How does that sound?
Sounds really good. I mean, we worked hard all season. Coaches had faith in us. We worked hard in practice. And the main thing is we stuck together as a team all season. And that's, I think, was the biggest thing, that we were a family atmosphere all season.
You know St. Mary's has not won this since 1979. This was a wild game, a game of streaks. St. Anthony's never went away.
Yeah, I know, it was tough. They played their hearts out. I got to give credit to them. They played real hard, but I think we just knew in our hearts that it was our year and we really needed to win this.
That was some celebration. I know you want to get back in there.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
25 points for Jimmy Frauenberg. What a game. And let's bring on the coach right now, Timmy Klus. And, you know, Coach, you were here in 1992. You were here in 96. Let's face it, third time was the charm.
Third time was the charm, and it's as sweet as I always thought it would be. And it's a dream come true. I've worked hard for years. I played in this league. It means so much to me. I'm so proud of our guys. They worked their hearts off all year. This goes out to every St. Mary's kid who ever played for me, who worked hard and built the program. I'm really proud of all of them.
How about this game? A wild game of spurts. Did you ever think a 25-point lead wouldn't be enough? Third quarter, St. Anthony showed a little heart.
I told the guys at halftime that St. Anthony's going to make the run because every time this year we got a big lead, they came back at us, and they did. I give them a ton of credit. They're a tough team.
The clock is ticking. Is this little guy going to get a brother or sister before Monday morning?
Right now, it would make my dream come true. It's been an unbelievable week. My wife's ready to go. She can go now. She was waiting for the game.
It was your time, Coach.
Thank God. I appreciate it. My brother's upstairs. I love everybody. Thank you.
That's outstanding right there. Remembering his brothers, Timmy Klus. Here's the chance for 1998. We'll take a short time out here from Hofstra. Barry Landers and Brian Mahoney be back to wrap this baby up.
Button up your overcoat when the wind is free. We'll take good care of you at Genevieve.
Genevieve's was founded on a vision of providing knowledgeable advice and dependable service. That's why families like yours have trusted Genevieve's drugstores for over 70 years. Genevieve's, a healthy tradition since 1924.
We'll take good care of you at Genevieve.
We helped David Nolan with a pre-approved mortgage, which gave him the bargaining power to buy his family a bigger house with a lower bid. Chase Mortgage Pre-Approvals. They make every one of our 23 different mortgages even more valuable. Another way you're worth more at our bank. Chase, because the right relationship is everything.
Well, we're back here where St. Mary's is still celebrating, and rightfully so. The youngsters from Manhasset, a terrific ball club, winning their 20th game, Brian Mahoney, and doing it like a championship team. They held off the surge of St. Anthony's and win impressively.
They had 8 players really contribute. A great job by the whole team, and I know Tim's very happy this evening.
Doesn't get any better than what these kids are enjoying right now, does it?
It's something that they'll remember the rest of their lives.
And we've been happy to be part of it. St. Mary's wins their first regular season championship ever, and only their second as a school overall in the playoffs. It's been a delight, Brian, working with you.
Thanks,
Final
Barry.
score, 65 for the Friars, 82 for the Gales. They are the Catholic League champions. Today's championship game has been brought to you by Genevieve's. We'll take good care of you. By Chase Manhattan Bank, the right decision is everything. By Canon USA. By Bob Stores. And by Elite Sports Medicine and Rehab in Ronkonkoma. For my colleagues today, Brian Mahoney, Jimmy Cavallo, Hal Sass, Superstats, and all our crew, this is Barry Landers saying so long, everybody, and thanks for watching Cablevision's Long Island Sports Network.